Okay, I'm going to try to make a super fast video on you guys trying to get these promos to work. I've kind of got everything else covered in my other videos. What I'm seeing now is that all the questions I do get after you guys watch the videos, you're kind of getting hung up on the same thing each time. And that thing is, how do you set the settings to begin with? So I got a part today that I'm cutting pretty quick. Its tolerances aren't very tight because it's cattle equipment, so it's kind of a nice part to test that on. So this is 3/16 steel, 65 amps. I'm cutting at about 135 inches a minute, and that's kind of the most you guys want to be doing with a Premier plasma table. This one, the book setting is 119, but mine usually reads a little higher, so that's why I'm gonna tell you guys, get your own setting, don't borrow somebody else's. I've got this ready to go on the next part here. So when I say monitor your voltage, you're gonna watch the voltage. So you're gonna, to monitor that, you're gonna set it really, really long on your delay times. If you're doing the SD, if you're at 150, just turn the THC off. But a lot of guys are SDs, so you just go into here, set your delay time like 9.9 seconds, so you get a long time to watch what's happening. And you want to make sure everything else is working first. So be really happy with your cuts, and then we'll move into THC. So I'm just gonna hit start, and you guys can watch that voltage. So that it said 119 in the book, but that's guaranteed that's not gonna be the number we see happening a lot here. So right now it's going to start the actual part, and this is where we really want to watch closely when it goes on these long cuts. All right, so on that, I'm gonna call that a 145, 144 to 145. So then we'll just keep on cutting. So that is how I'm starting out. That's how I get my value that I'll set it at. Is I'm just watching it cut without any changing. So you're just watching a nice cut, nice straight line on the part. That's kind of what I'm watching to set that up. So you get the arc established and go. So again, diving, voltage up. If it's lifting, voltage down. You know, higher voltage is higher cut height. If you're having trouble, like you gotta adjust that to get it to move into the right height. So is it the right height? Well, to find out, you go to your book setting and then take that book setting, make a test piece, and I'll show you guys my test piece real quick here too. So we're gonna open that up. So I have a whole file of just test pieces. So these are all the different tests that I've made. So I guess on some of these I have like a 2-inch square with 1-inch hole. That's a nice one if you're having trouble with taper. But I've got test lines. Okay, this is the test lines that I talk about. I mean, don't be afraid to, you know, a little bit of material now is going to save you so much headache later. You'll have less wasted parts. So this is my one that I use the most. It's got 7-inch by like 2.5-inch rectangle, and then inside I have 6-inch lines. So that gives me enough time to get started, and then that nice straight line is going to get me a nice even arc, and hopefully you got the plate flat enough when you're getting the reading. You'll get a baseline, and then that's gonna be your new setting. Set your voltage to that setting off those lines. You know, this one just has 4 lines on it, but make it however you like. Yeah, so I think if you guys need anything else. Now that's how I set the baseline. If you're having it where it's not actually adjusting fast enough, just set your everything else faster. So delay time a little less, probably not less than 2 seconds or so. Set your speed higher. You know, if it's set too high, it'll just be too sensitive and it'll be moving up and down all the time. And then stasis, I think it's just a setting for these, but that's how many volts it'll see before it'll move. So like 2 to 4 volts, so it's not too sensitive. So that's the kind of stuff I think you guys need to finish up. You can always shoot me a comment. I'll try to keep up on them if I can.